Hello, today we will be showing you how to make 120,000 silver for 3 consecutive battles on Forging Ahead in War Stories. You'll see what 3 ops to set up there: Dominant Force 4, Maelstrom, and don't remember what the other one was, but you saw it there on the screen. Forging Ahead gives you a chance to get all 15 kills. Usually I do 14 kills and let the AI take the last one just to max damage, because damage is the key to silver rather than kills. Forging Ahead is the middle of the 3 operations in the first story, the one that takes place in Romania.
Peters rallied his crew. It was their turn to strike back at the Germans.
I like to use my Gorenich because it gives you great armor. You can just bully your way through the whole thing. And the ammo cost is extremely low. For an average damage of 300, it costs you 270 silver. There's no other tier 8 tank that can claim as good of a damage per silver ratio for their standard ammunition. I have a pattern that I do here. I always start out by going to the bottom right hand corner here. And then I do kind of an S through the map. It's the most time distance effective way of getting through this scenario. You can do the entire scenario in about 12 and a half to 13 minutes.
Enemy is toast. Ready to fire on target.
As you can see, I am not the least bit concerned. Occasionally they'll get one into my weak points, but I'm just not too worried about it. Also add some rams in there to help save ammo cost.
Looks like that one went right through. Enemy armor is destroyed. Load it up. Let it rip.
Now notice I'm not capturing the circle. Not yet. You need to capture 3 of them, but every time you capture a circle, one of those AI tanks starts shooting or taking your damage away. So I wait and I only do the last 3 of them to minimize the amount of opportunity the AI has to take my damage. One of the reasons I do the Gorenich also is because it has a pretty good ammo supply. 60 rounds at 300 average damage per round is 18,000 potential damage. And you'll see in this battle I do over 15,000 damage, so you need a lot of ammo. You don't want to have to resort to the pickups, because if you do, then you lose your ×2 silver and ×2 experience award at the end of the battle.
Releasing target.
Now this particular area, there are always 3 tanks that spawn, but exactly how they kind of move out varies a bit from time to time. So you can see here, I kind of just took whatever shots they were giving me. Didn't worry too much about focusing one down because they're not doing any damage to me.
Ready to fire on target. Enemy's got us in their sights. Got him.
Now, I've also noticed in story mode that if you go into sniper view, the AI takes a more aggressive, evasive maneuvering stance. So auto lock often will actually get you the easiest hits without having to worry about them dodging around as much. See, that guy right there managed to get 2 rounds into me. He didn't actually penetrate R2-D2. Where he penetrated was the very base of the turret. Now again, I'm not capturing the flag here. I'm just moving on to the big flag to engage the main force of the enemy. There are 6 tanks that spawn here, but they don't all spawn at once. I want to say there's 3 that spawn right off the bat, then 1 that spawns behind you, then 2 more that come in from the west side. And there, so that's a kind of a staggered battle that develops here. Trying to take that out the Westphal-Panzer ones first because those 90mm guns have the highest chance of actually doing damage to me. The Panthers and VKs, I'm just not concerned about.
Enemy in sight. Enemy's looking right at us. Looks like that one went right through. I see one of them.
Let's focus to this guy just because he's the guy that might end up behind me. They do like to circle around, and so knowing where the weak spots are on the KV-5, I don't want to take any chances of them starting to shoot me in the engine.
Enemy vehicle on fire. Finished him off.
You'll also notice I backed out of the circle. I don't want to capture the circle. I don't want to end the scenario yet. I just want to engage and destroy the enemy.
Target locked.
Notice I'm also being careful not to get too close to the pickups.
We lit that one up good. Releasing target. Penetration. We finished him off. Enemy's got us in their sights. Ready to fire on target. He's gone. Find us another target. Penetration. We're immobilized. Unlocking target. Enemy scrapped. Trap prepared. Drive on. Ready to fire.
Okay, now I'm going to get out of this circle. Not in too big of a hurry because there's lots of time. But now I'm going up to the center. The top of the hill here where the mine is has 3 tanks that spawn. And they have some different AI patterns that they use, and you never know what you're going to get. Sometimes all 3 will swarm down to try and come around your tank. Sometimes you'll only have 1 to spar with. Sometimes it'll start with 1, but then 1 or 2 of the others will come and reinforce it. Just kind of got to wait and see how it feels out.
Locked on. Enemy's looking right at us. Enemy in sight. Punched a hole in their armor. He's gone. Find us another target.
Now, be very careful of this pickup on the right hand side here. Don't want to accidentally back into it.
Fire on target. Enemy's got us in their sights. We just dinged them.
Now, depending on how the AI maneuver, sometimes you'll be able to get them
Penetration.
back behind the artillery piece, and you can bait them to shoot your artillery piece and take it out of the game. That is ideal because when they do that, then you can go ahead and just take the circle while you're there, and that's 1 circle down without having to worry about any AI tanks.
Gun loaded.
You can see I kind of try to push it into the path of the enemy to see if he's going to shoot, but unfortunately the AI this particular time doesn't take the bait. He just swings around the other side of the top of the mountain there, so I have to go get him.
They've spotted us. We've got a lock.
Now that I'm going downhill instead of uphill, I go ahead and give him a good ram too.